10 out. Stand by default sound. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll D. And fade up sound. Semi
This
inner
is
mic.
Oklahoma's own News on 6 in
Roll
high
A.
definition.
Pipe Q. Animate.
Cleanup begins after a deadly tornado system tears through Oklahoma,
C's next.
Kansas, and Arkansas. One person is dead in Quapaw.
Stand by
16
C.
more are killed near Little Rock. And
Little
dozens
Rock.
of homes and businesses are destroyed in 3 states. We have live team coverage with
Stand
Osage
by
Sky
C.
News 6 in the air and crews on the ground in Quapaw and in Baxter Springs.
Roll C.
We'll get to that in
White.
just a moment.
Stand by
but
4.
first, we begin with breaking news.
You got her
We were
name?
taking a look
Resolve.
at a traffic
Okay.
accident
Doubles
involving
next.
2
4 and
City of
41.
Tulsa employees
Ready
near
double.
71st and
She looks like
Elwood.
she's got this
That's
light
where
in
we
there.
find
Take.
News on 6
Ready,
reporter
ramp 41
Ashley
with.
King. Ashley, what can you tell us about this accident?
And take animate.
Well, Ivana, this is a
losing her
accident.
picture,
One
losing her picture.
city contractor has
Stand by
died
A.
and 3 other people
Roll
were
A.
injured. If you take a look behind me, you can see
Reback.
this car is upside down. We've seen construction workers' hats on the ground
That's
and their
okay.
shoes also on the ground.
Thanks for the
now,
read.
Tulsa police
Roll
tell
A.
us a car was
Solve.
traveling
On
west
BO.
on 71st Street when the driver
Back out to
lost
41.
control, hit the curb, went airborne, and struck 2 contractors who were working on traffic lights out here. One contractor was pinned between the suspect's car and the work vehicle.
Ready, 41 with.
Another contractor was thrown. Both of them were transported in critical condition.
Almost ran out of VO in your
Unfortunately,
headlines.
police say one of the contractors has died at this time. And we also know that the driver of that car that's
looks
upside
like
down,
she's about
the driver
done.
was transported
And
also in critical condition. And the
Resolve
driver's
animate. Ready,
passenger
C.
was transported
I
to the
think she's
hospital.
wrapping up here.
They say he is stable right now. They're still investigating exactly what caused this accident. We're not sure
Ready,
if
C.
speed played a factor or some other distractions, but we will bring you the very latest coming up tonight at 5 and 6. Reporting live,
Roll
Ashley
C.
King, News on 6.
Roll C.
Ashley,
Take Q.
Thank you.
Stand
Our
by
top story
4.
today is storm damage in northeast
Solve.
Oklahoma, where a
4
deadly
and 20
tornado
for the
ripped through
double.
town of
Sky News
Quapaw.
6.
Now that's about 20 miles southwest of Joplin, and right now we're getting a bird's eye view of all of the damage with the help of Osage Sky News 6 pilot Will Kavanaugh.
Stand by 20 with.
Will, what do you see?
Yeah, Resolve. Animate.
Right now, Havana, we see relief and recovery efforts well
And
underway.
animate his name.
We see countless trucks out here from the power companies
Animate.
restoring
This
these power
VO's
lines
back up in A,
and also
right?
securing to make sure they're
Thank
not
you.
hot.
And
Nothing
read
in
back to
town is
your.
gonna be dangerous.
That's good. That's
we
fine.
see homeowners out sifting through their trash. You can see we're going to start in the northeast part of town here, and we already see U-Haul
I'm
trucks
not going
that
back
have
to
been
the
riding.
boxes
We've been
here. I'm going to come
last
straight
night as
out
well
the
as
4.
this morning, and already
Or
we
this
see
going straight to
neighbors
C
and
when he
family and
wraps
friends
up.
out, going through their homes, trying to salvage what they can as they sift through the damage here. That just a tragic event that's happened here in Quapaw. We're going to continue down
Stand
the
by
storm, and you're going to see
no,
the storm
he's
path
holding
here
on.
and continue to see just the damage and the people out with the emergency operators here. And just a few minutes off the left screen as we come up to the firehouse, which is the center of town, you're going to see that damage. But in just a few minutes, there'll be a press conference here from the governor. So we're going to hear more about the relief and the recovery efforts that are going to be ongoing
Stand by C.
throughout the next.
Lost her.
Okay,
Lost her.
we've
Ready for
apparently
take.
lost Will's signal, but we'll check
Ready,
back with
C?
him in 30 minutes or so. He just showed us those very devastating pictures.
Ready, C?
And Governor Mary Fallon
It's still
in
breaking up.
Quapaw this afternoon, or this morning, we should say, and she's declared a state of emergency.
Roll C.
We'll continue our
And
coverage of
take.
that tornado
Send my back out
damage as
4.
the recovery efforts are underway
Solve.
right now following
331
that
double,
deadly tornado
or
we've just
4
been
rather.
telling you
Ready,
about.
double.
News on 6 anchor
Take.
Craig Day is
331
there,
with.
taking a look on the ground. Craig.
And take animate. Q.
Well, Ivana, heavy equipment and volunteers have been working
Animate.
throughout the morning here this morning in Quapaw,
Animate.
cleaning up damage.
No tapes
from
here, straight
yesterday
live here.
evening's
Be back out to
tornado.
4 on
A couple
Ivana.
of dozen businesses and homes are either destroyed or have significant damage. Now, news conference is about to get underway with Governor Mary Fallon and other state leaders coming up in just a moment outside of the Quapaw Fire Station, which also has heavy damage. The governor again has declared a state of emergency for Ottawa County, which clears the way for state leaders to get resources here quickly to help with recovery efforts. It's also the first step in getting federal help. Now, the National Weather Service says the tornado that hit at about 5:30 Sunday evening was less than a half-mile wide, but that was still enough to cause significant damage as it was on the ground for several miles.
I don't
An
either.
assessment team with the
I don't
National
have
Weather
page
Service
5.
is in the area right now. They're taking statistical information to
Okay.
determine exactly
Page
how
5, be a
strong
straight shot on
this
4,
tornado
be on
was
aim.
that hit Quapaw and then moved on up into Kansas
Ready
after
for.
hitting here. Again, Governor Mary Fallon and other leaders are
Yeah,
here.
'cause that was
They
originally
just
full
arrived
screen,
a
wasn't
few
it?
minutes ago.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready for a news
Stephanie, maybe
conference to
bring it.
update to everyone
Yeah, you guys
on
gotta
the
let us know
state's
about this.
efforts to
Ethan,
help
you gotta
with
let us know about
recovery.
this stuff, man.
Reporting live in
Ready for
Quapaw,
it.
Craig Day, News on
And
6.
take you, ready,
Craig,
A,
thank
clean.
you. Well, several people have
Thanks.
shared pictures and video with us of this
Roll
tornado.
A.
Now, this is
Stop.
a picture from Quapaw after the tornado
Okay,
hit
back out
as
to
it was
4,
moving
then the
towards
Biz
Baxter
2.
Springs. Now, the debris made it really hard to see, and depending on where you were in relation to the tornado, sometimes it appeared dark from other directions. It looked white. Now, most
Okay,
of the
ready,
images
4.
of actual storm damage we are getting from when it was over Baxter Springs because
we
it
are.
spun up so quickly over Quapaw. We thank you for sending in those pictures.
Okay.
And the cleanup there
Ready, Biz
continues.
2.
And remember, this is about a town of 900
Take
people or
animate.
so, 20 miles
4 and
southwest
35
of
for the
Joplin.
double.
And a
Stand by
tornado
double.
has killed at least one person and several more injured.
Resolve.
Dave Davis is there. He's been tracking
Ready,
this. Dave, what
35
can you
with.
tell us?
Take animate, Q.
Well, here on Main Street, right where the tornado came
Animate.
right through town, the cleanup effort is in full
Animate.
force. Organizations from
ABO
around
clean
the
next.
region pitching in to help. We've seen, the governor is here, the state insurance commissioner is expected to be here, as well as the Red Cross, just to name a
Stand
few.
by A.
They've all descended on this tiny Oklahoma town. We've talked to several people
Roll
this
A.
morning who told
Take.
us
Did we kill
everything
one of the
happened
sots?
so fast with this tornado. Around
It's a butted
5:30
sot, so it's one
yesterday
sot.
evening, a tornado
But
cut
they're
right
back to
through
back.
the middle of
All
town,
right, only
damaging
2
or
tapes for this
destroying
live here. Only
60
2 tapes.
structures,
Be simple
injuring
with.
5 people and killing a man who was crushed by concrete
Ready, B.
as a wall fell on his car. The Ottawa County Sheriff confirms this afternoon. His name is John Brown, and he is from Baxter Springs, Kansas. They tell us his wife had to be extricated, but she did survive. Elmer Heil and Myrna Maines both
About to
live here
run
in
out
town.
VO. Ready,
They
be
saw it
simple
coming,
with.
but they couldn't believe how quickly this happened.
Roll B, sound, and take animate.
And all of a sudden, the debris
Animate
started
out.
flying.
Out Q so
and
fast.
I'll say about
I got
3,
another
4
key here
minutes
somewhere.
later,
Ready, key?
it was all over with, but look what it done.
I thought the
Animate.
siren was going off.
Animate
That's
out.
what it sounded like.
Stand
and
by,
it was
stand by 35
like a
under, or
rumbling.
with.
And that's all we heard. But it was so fast.
It's off Q. Animate.
Crews are still working on restoring power here in
All right,
Quapaw.
4
as,
next.
That we are still without power here. Many of it is just kind of untangling wires and power
Ready, 4.
poles that were all mixed up in the tornado. And again, the Red Cross is here providing shelter and food and water to anyone who needs it. Reporting live in Quapaw, Dave Davis, News on 6.
Take Q.
Dave, thank you. Well, that
432
same storm
next.
that Dave is
Ready,
talking
double?
about moved into the southeastern corner of Kansas, and it hit the town of Baxter Springs really hard.
Take.
And that's where we find
Ready,
News on
Ram
6 reporter
32
Dan
with.
Dooley. Dan,
Ooh,
what does it look like
it is
there?
static, isn't it? Take animate.
Well, Ivana, as you might imagine, it is very difficult
Animate.
scene here. It's a very tragic scene as
Animate.
well. There is debris
Okay, straight
everywhere.
live
Homes
here.
are
We have
ripped
to
up.
Viz
The
2
roofs have
for
been
a
ripped off
map
the homes. Let me
next
step
for
aside.
page 8.
Just kind of show you a little pictures here of what the residents here in Baxter Springs have been dealing with today. Look at this. This is a
There it goes.
gigantic tree that has been uprooted and
It
has
does
fallen
not
on
like it
top
when you
of
move
this
that camera around,
two-story
does
home.
it?
There are images like this all across the town. Now, if the good news, if there is any, is that according to the Southeast Kansas Incident Management Team, there were no serious injuries here. 25 people were injured, 9 of them sent to the hospital, but none of those 9 people had any life-threatening injuries. Now, search and rescue teams have gone through all of the damaged properties here a couple of times to make sure that everyone is okay. According to that Southeast Kansas Incident Management Team, the path of destruction here was about 3 blocks wide. There were 100 homes damaged and 12 businesses damaged here in Baxter Springs. Now, if you are interested in helping any of the folks here,
Sounds
they say
worse
that
now, doesn't it?
They do not need any clothes. There is some people here in town, some businesses here in town that are taking care of that. But they
Ready,
could
Biz
use
2,
bottled
page
water
8.
and food. That can be dropped off at the community center, which is located at 11th and East Avenue here in Baxter Springs. They are also registering volunteers to help the residents in the community here. They're doing that at Baxter Springs High School. They say right now they already have 650 people registered as volunteers to help out. And They certainly could use all the help they can get here because this is really just a
I think he's
tragic
wrapping up
scene
here. Ready, Viz 2.
To witness. Reporting live in Baxter Springs, Kansas, Dan Bewley, News on 6.
Take you.
Tragic indeed. Thank you.
Stand by, aim.
16 people died in storms that
Roll
swept
aim.
through Arkansas. The
Ready,
tornado
key. Enemy.
flattened homes as it tore through several suburbs
Enemy
of
now.
Little Rock Sunday night.
See
Now,
you,
in
enter
Mayflower,
mic, then
the
out to the
storm did a
jib.
lot of damage on I-40. One driver told our storm tracker,
Stand
Dal
by, C.
Archer, he ended up being thrown through the back window of his truck as it rolled across the highway. And a spokesperson for the governor
Stand by,
says
C.
5 people were killed in that county.
Roll C.
6 other were killed in 2 other
White.
counties.
Stand by,
so
jib.
hard to look at those pictures.
Search move.
And although the storm has
And
moved
dissolve.
along, Mike Grogan is tracking a
2F
chance of
next.
possible rain.
Yes, we have
Ready
a chance
to?
of showers, maybe an isolated storm this afternoon.
And
Nothing
turn, take,
severe, but the
animate.
severe weather threat does
Storm
go
weather
on
6.
for much of the deep south today. That
Solve.
same storm system already producing
All right,
severe
be back
weather
altitude
around
and 3 in
Tennessee
effects.
down through the Louisiana area. This whole corridor is primed for more severe weather, even tornadoes, with the tornado
was
watch
a lot of live
just
shots.
expiring across portions of Louisiana and Mississippi. Back here in Oklahoma, we are cooler, quiet. We have a few showers in central Oklahoma, but boy, that storm in its wake left with it some damage and also some other storm reports. There is the tornado from Quapaw to Baxter Springs being shown up on our storm reports. Also, we had a wind gust up to 59 miles per hour earlier in the day in Tulsa. So some places around Green Country seeing hail, high winds, and also the threat for some wind gusts that were upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour, especially along the Oklahoma-Arkansas line. And of course, the major tornadoes in central Arkansas showing up here north of the Little Rock area. Well, in the meantime, we are looking at rainfall that was not too bad. In fact, this was the good side of the storm here in Tulsa. Over half an inch of rain fell to our northwest. Also, about a third to half an inch of rain falling from Pawnee up towards Bartlesville. Isolated amounts
We'll
up
be
to an inch in
altitude and the
southeastern
3 in effects
Oklahoma,
from
though
page
a lot
11.
of spots not picking up all that much. Now we are waiting more rainfall across the area. In fact, we do see some showers in areas around Oklahoma City. Very light amounts coming down at the moment, but this afternoon, showers, maybe an isolated storm will be flaring up in east central Oklahoma, giving us another chance for a little bit of additional rainfall. Outside, though, we have partly to mostly clear skies in Tulsa and a bit of a breeze. That wind will be bringing us up into the 70s this afternoon. We're sitting in the mid-60s in downtown Tulsa, 67 Broken Arrow, 67 around Haskell to Jinx, and 65
Stand by
in
2.
Sapulpa. This afternoon, expect an increase in clouds and scattered showers, so we might have a bit of a wet go of it
And
by 5 o'clock, especially if you're heading home from
dissolve.
work or school. Might have to contend with that.
Ready, 3 in
But
effects.
we have a
What's going
nice,
on?
cool week ahead. It's not looking so bad. We'll have the details on that forecast in a bit.
Ready.
Okay, we'll check
All
back
right,
with
ready.
you. Thanks,
3 in
Mike.
effects, take.
Well, right now, Tulsa Red
Ethan,
Cross
talk to me.
volunteers are responding
This
to
3
those
next.
areas where tornadoes touched down.
Okay.
And they have set up shelter.
Okay,
at
after
Quapaw
11, we're
Wellness
going to
Center.
try to take the
First
governor live.
responders are
Let her
providing
know.
food
Ready,
and
Biz 3.
shelter, drinks, and snacks for anyone that
Take
needs
enemy.
it.
All right,
One-
coming out the 4,
only
then we're
one
going to go to
person,
Ram
though, needed
23.
shelter last
Ram
night. Now, most
23.
people in the area are staying with relatives.
Governor's
but
talking.
Financial
Ready,
assistance
4.
is still needed. If you would like to donate, text Red Cross to 90999.
Return video and take 4.
Now, we want to go ahead
Stand by,
and go
Ram
to Governor
23.
Mary Fallon.
I'm
We
gonna
told
dissolve
that
to it.
she's
You got a live
conducting
key?
news conference there. Let's listen.
And right in, cool.
Of the state to bear. We have many different people here represented that can make things happen, from the Office of Emergency Management to our chiefs
Very
of the
good.
fire and the police
All right.
department to our insurance commissioner to our tribal leader here with Chairman Berry. So we appreciate everyone that's been working long hours, all the staff of the police department, the fire department, the charities that have joined together, and certainly the Office of Emergency Management was here on the ground.
Hey, there's my old
immediately
station.
to help the community.
Yeah, the state was here last night.
Right on
we
our
got
arm.
generators from the state last night to get power up at the tribal area so we could service people at our shelter. So they've been
Generic
working here
tease to
since
break.
Copy
12 is
that.
dead.
What would you like the victims
Page
to
12,
know?
generic
Anyone
keys
who's
to
been
break. She'll
impacted
just
by
pitch the
this, what
break
would you like
once
to tell them
we
if
wrap
they're
up
watching
here.
this broadcast?
Well, to anyone that's been impacted by the storm, to note the state's here. We're ready to help. We've called in all the charities. We got the power generators. We have expertise. And
Yeah, way to
unfortunately,
put both our
Oklahoma is
stations
very
on the same
well
flag.
adept to helping and handling crises of this sort when you have a storm come through. We're really good at doing this stuff.
What do you think the odds are for getting federal help here?
Well, that'll be left up to the assessment that will take some time to do throughout the community. We'll need to see how many people didn't have insurance, how many did have insurance, what the needs structurally are to the community itself. And that will be something that'll just take a while. But what we do know is that we've started the process with the emergency declaration immediately to get that going and to be able to bring in the services we need.
Governor Fallon, let's talk a little bit about the response, because
obviously, Quapaw is a small community in Oklahoma, but it's very dear, obviously, to Oklahoma. The emergency responders locally obviously did an incredible job of responding quickly, but the
That'll work.
Here this morning, we were
is
here
that
as
is
day
that
broke,
Quapaw
and,
though?
I mean, the sun wasn't even up, and bulldozers were moving, and neighbors were helping neighbors. And what does this show you about the state, and does it make you so proud to see?
I'm very proud of
Stand
the
by
volunteers
A.
that come forth, neighbors helping neighbors. They were
And
here
roll A,
immediately.
and
As
dissolve.
I understand it, pulling
On
people
VO.
out and going
Oh, it's
door
starting
to
to break
door
up
to make
too.
sure. In fact, I think I was told that you guys had it cleared by about 25 minutes.
Yeah, about 20 minutes.
After the storm hit, that the
Be back out
the
to
police
23.
and fire
What?
chief had already checked everyone to make sure that there wasn't anyone trapped, and that's a very quick response. And that's what we call the Oklahoma spirit, as we coined it during the Moore storms, the Oklahoma strong spirit, is that we just get things done when things like this happen. So I'm very proud of the community itself, and I also want the people of Quapaw to know that we're here. You know, this is one of the far corners of the state of Oklahoma, but we care about all the different communities in the state, and that's why we're here.
When things like this happen, do you get more calls to your office for storm shelters? You know, because that's a big issue right now.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I've been pushing the legislature to pass HJR 1092, is to allow local communities the ability to decide if they want to want to put in storm shelters, and what kind of shelters would they want to put in.
About a minute left of
the
VO here.
The legislature will once again get the bill out of the conference committee, understand the importance that there are communities that need to have choices as to how they can fund their storm shelters, and storm shelters in schools are done locally through their various bond issues within the community. That's how we build our school systems. So I'm hoping that this will encourage the legislature to go ahead and get that storm shelter bill passed.
You have a continuous
coverage?
coverage?
Some opportunities. Chairman Berry was telling me that he has a storm shelter
Yeah, just let me
here,
know.
and there were 200 people.
Yeah, we had 200 people.
Okay, I got to
in,
come out the live
300.
here. I only have
It's
30
just down the
seconds
road
left of
in
VO.
the part of Quapaw.
That
but
mug
it was
is
part
dead there.
of a
Travis, you
CDBG
can get
grant
rid
we
of
got
that.
from HUD, and part of a wellness center. We developed it into this community.
Where do you want me putting that to?
Safe
Continuous
room,
coverage.
And, it worked great last night.
I mean, what sources?
That's why I think it's a great idea to allow local
Well, I guess
communities
if we're running out of
to
VO,
decide,
that's
they're unique.
continuous coverage is irrelevant.
The community has different needs. Quapaw actually has a storm shelter here, and it's not
It
in
is.
school, but
It's
in
running
the
right now. If
community.
you get a Sky News 6 one.
Any kind of firm number
All right.
of structures, commercial, residential, that were damaged?
I got it. Let me change it up here.
Right now, we just have a
One Sky News
windshield
6 in the
assessment. Did you
small
wanna
box.
go through that or not? Or,
Okay.
structures there?
Need a Sky News 6 bug if you can.
Probably around 15
At this point right now,
that are
don't worry
totally
about
destroyed.
Let me get this
and then
back up.
several other with major
And-
damage, and then a lot with some minor damage and stuff like
God,
that.
I can't think.
About 60 total.
And where is she at? 23? All right.
Probably right there or a
And
little
dissolve.
less. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you repeat that again?
Probably right there at 60 or a little less on the houses. Yeah, and then down.
But not destroyed.
Not destroyed, right. About 15
Okay, on
that
Sky
was
News
totally
now.
destroyed, and then several with major damage, and then several with, minor
Wasn't
damage,
scared
shingle loss and
before.
stuff like that.
Oh, shoot.
The 14, most of those that was totally damaged was homes, people living in the homes.
And what's the state of the city right now?
Doctors here.
Power, water.
Everything's good. We took care of that last night with the generators, like the governor said that was all taken care of.
We'll be out to
before
4 eventually.
A couple hours after the event, it was taken care of. So.
Injuries?
We transported 6 and had 1 fatality.
You still got that lab bug
Had
up?
several walking wounded that we treated and released.
Where was that fatality?
I showed up here and I never left here. I'm not. That's the only.
Are you
numbers
rebuilding
I
that
know on
box?
That, so
Or
it was here on Main Street somewhere. So.
that way we have Sky News 6 in that small box?
Yeah, would you guys like to go and tour with us?
Whoops. I think they're done. Under my cure. Under my cure.
You've just been listening to a press conference
Stand
with
by.
Governor Mary Fallon and emergency
Dissolve 4.
officials there in Quapaw.
We're going straight
They
to
said
break
that
here.
200 people took
Stand by for
shelter at
music,
the
stand by your
community
break.
center there in Quapaw. We, of course, are following the situation in Sky News 6 and on the ground. We'll be right back.
Music and fade us down. Ray Breakmaster. Ray Breakmaster. Should be asking you, actually. 3, 2, 1. Roll C and fade up Q.
The search is finally over for an escapee on the run from the Haskell County Jail. Now, Edward Branch was found walking along I-40 in Sallisaw after he broke into the Sequoia County Jail, or broke out of, I should say. Now, Branch actually broke through a wall at the jail and escaped last Tuesday.
That had to hurt. Tune effects.
He was in jail accused of robbing an elderly woman with a knife, and we are told he escaped the exact same way
boy.
in January.
Animate take, and he just
police
keeps getting
say
caught.
alcohol may have played
Ready,
a role
Vest 3
in
for
a
a
deadly
map?
train accident that left a teen dead.
Take animate.
Authorities
All right,
say
we'll
the
be out
boy
to
was
3,
hit by
and then
a
we'll
Union
eventually go
Pacific train
to
on the
Sky Camp
tracks
for the
east of
tees.
South Main and Elgin
good
Street
shot.
Sunday night. Investigators believe 17-year-old
she's gonna
Marco
ad-lib some
Torres
stuff
was
here.
crawling under the train
Ready, 3.
when it began to move.
And then
The
we'll
engineer of
eventually
a
add some
passing
music.
train saw the body on the tracks and then notified police.
Take.
Well, we want to update you on the aide from Arkansas's governor who says the death toll is
Stand by for
14,
music. Stand by,
not
Skycam.
16. The state says that 2 victims were actually counted twice, so 14 people died in that tornado.
And
Well, back here, it's
music
sunny
and
on the
dissolve
Osage
anime.
Casino Skycam network,
windy.
but rain isn't off the radar quite yet.
It wasn't
Mike Rogan
shaking
has
that
an
much.
update on
Stand
the
by your
cool
break.
down next.
And 3, 2, 1. Fade us down. Ready, break, master. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And fade up Q. Animate.
It's a much quieter day for us on hand for eastern
Animate out.
Oklahoma. We are expecting
All
a
right.
few more showers to show up this
Skip.
afternoon.
Yeah,
but
you already have them,
generally
Mike.
quiet conditions on Warren Live radar. You can see there's just a few weak radar echoes to our west, around west of Oklahoma City. And some of this may not be
gonna be
reaching
a
the ground, but by later this afternoon, some of that might come to fruition. Here's what's happening on our visible satellite, showing the clouds kind of streaming along the I-40 corridor. We're going to see an increase in clouds this afternoon as some upper-level energy works its way into the state. That, combined with the afternoon heating, will bring about
All right, we'll be out to 3.
kind of popcorn showers and maybe a
Then the
thunderstorm
2
or
and
two.
Rim 20.
Nothing severe, though.
There's a Sky
You see
News
the
6
increase
bug
in
on this,
clouds indicating some of that instability working its way our direction. For now, all is quiet, but we're still under the influence of that major system bringing severe weather to the deep south. The severe weather portion of the system is now across Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and those locations. Meanwhile, we're on the cooler side of things with the wraparound ongoing to our north and west. And you can see the widespread rain up
This
that
next
direction
tease
as
will have
well.
Sky
It's
News
also
6
bringing us
again.
the wind. You can see out at Tulsa International Airport.
Look how smooth
Glory's
that is
flying,
now.
and it's certainly very windy. We have winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour, and that will be common through the afternoon. We have 66 degrees, and with the sunshine and a west wind, we should be on our way into the mid-70s in a few hours. Most of the area, though, sitting in the 60s, 64 Grove up towards, or Tahlequah up towards Grove and Veneta, 66 in Pryor, 68 in Eufaula. And taking you through the afternoon, we expect to see gusty westerly winds, an increase in clouds to be partly to mostly cloudy at times, and widespread showers and a few storms out there. Once again, the storms will be few and far between. There might be a little bit of small hail in those, and those should be dying out by about the 9-10 o'clock hour. Another round of showers possible during the afternoon hours tomorrow, especially up near the Kansas-Oklahoma line, and that will bring about
he gonna
cooler
walk
weather
off,
as
or is he
well as
pitching
another
back?
reinforcing shot of cool air works its way in. We're in the 60s
Yeah, he
through
should be.
Wednesday
There he
into
goes.
Thursday. Very cool conditions. As cool as 39
Eight's clear.
degrees by
Out to
Thursday
3, then
morning.
2
Some
for
places may
tees.
see a
Ram
light
20,
frost
Sky
that
News
morning.
6.
And then a warm-up begins for next weekend. By Sunday, we're back in the 80s.
Stand by
but it's
3.
a quiet week, void of any severe
And
weather, which is great news.
That is great news
Ready,
after
2.
the Sunday that we've had, but we still will keep looking.
Yes.
2
Okay,
and straight shot.
certainly
Straight
weather
shot,
that
2.
we have
There
to
you go.
pay
Ready, 2.
attention to. Thank you, Mike.
And turn.
Well,
Take
coming up, our
music.
doctor on call is the psychiatrist.
Stand
He's going to
by,
talk
Sky
about
News
how to deal
6.
with post-traumatic stress disorder and coping with loss after
Solve,
tornadoes.
Dynamite.
And still to come, we'll take you back to the tornado
Stand by your
ravaged
wreck, Master.
Baxter Springs, Kansas, as that small town struggles to recover from the devastation there.
3,
Stay with
2, 1. Fade us down. Ready, break, master. All right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll C and fade up. Stand by 2.
It's
Off cue.
Monday. That means
Ready,
our doctor
4.
on call is the psychiatrist,
Take.
Dr. Jim McAdams
Ready,
is
3.
here this Monday. Thank you for being
Take.
here. We
Good to be here.
appreciate it.
Send my visit,
Okay, Kevin says
Follow
I
me.
was diagnosed with depression at first, and then my doctor
Ready
came
for
to me
his name.
and said it was PTSD. How can depression change to PTSD?
Take animate.
Well, it really doesn't change to PTSD. And if PTSD is your
Animate.
diagnosis, depression can
Okay.
certainly be a symptom
Well,
of PTSD, and that's probably what happened.
we have
Maybe
one
as
more
he got
question after
history,
this, and
found a
then
little bit more about you, maybe found
it'll
some
be
trauma in the past.
goodbye.
He developed the
90 out.
diagnosis of PTSD. Treatment is similar. Medications can be very helpful, but addition of therapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, trauma therapy, a lot of those things can be very helpful. So a combination of medications and therapy are always going to be your best bet, either treating depression or PTSD.
Okay, good luck,
History.
Kevin. Melody
Follow me.
asks, how can we support friends and family members
Ready,
who
4.
lost loved ones in a tornado? Certainly timely there.
It
Okay.
is. you know, unfortunately, this
out
thing's
to 3, then a 2, and
there's
then
not
the break.
anything that can be done sometimes, and it's no different. I mean, tornadoes, obviously, a lot of times, deaths from illness are predictable, and you kind of see them coming. Something from a tornado happens, and just in a moment's time, something goes terribly wrong, and someone dies. And so the dynamic there is a little bit different, but support is support. You know, you need to be there for them. You need to be careful about making sure they've got what they need, that people are around them at all times. You know, if this is something that turns bad, or they start having thoughts of hurting themselves or wanting to die themselves, then that not need to be picked up. But, you know, making sure they're plugged into a lot of the support systems that are available out there. I'm sure the Red Cross is available, things like that. They have trauma people there, therapists there that can help you with those things. And just being there for them, making sure that their needs are being met physically and mentally.
Yeah, certainly a hard time, even just watching those pictures.
It's tough.
Okay, we appreciate everyone who sent in a question. Thanks for being here.
We'll
be right back. We're tracking the situation both in Baxter Springs and in Quapaw. Stay with us.
And 3 is fade us down, Roadwreck Master. Sorry. Stand by C. And her mic in 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll C. And fade up. Stand by 3.
We are continuing our coverage of the cleanup of the tornado in Baxter
Great double,
Springs.
3 and 32.
News on 6 reporter Dan Dooley has been there all
32
morning
with
and joins us live with an update. Dan.
Take anime.
Yeah, good
Straight live
afternoon,
here.
Ivana. You know, 4,200 people live here in the town of Baxter, Baxter Springs,
We'll be up to
Kansas.
C once again.
The tornado hit here around 5:45 last night. I'll step out of the way and kind of show you some of the different things that the residents here are dealing with, who have had to pick up the pieces. If you look at this home here, over here on the left, you can see the wall just literally.
I have a mini open in my script for 31. That's top story. I wouldn't use that.
You see that image over and over here.
I'll just come out the camera for
25
31.
people injured, according to the Southeast Kansas Incident Management Team. 9 of those people were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
It was never in the red net. It was just in my script.
Has gone through all of the damaged property here a couple of times. We've seen them driving by several times here. They say everyone is accounted for. Now, there were 100 homes and 12 businesses that were damaged by this storm here in Baxter Springs, Kansas. They say if you are interested in helping, they are registering volunteers at the Baxter Springs High School. Volunteers to help clean up, help some of the residents as well. Right now they have about 650 people already registered to volunteer. They are accepting donations of bottled water and food only. No clothes, nothing else. They say businesses here in town have helped out with the other needs of bottled water and food. The only things they're accepting donations of. You can make a monetary donation to the Red Cross. They say the food and the water can be dropped off at the community center, which is at 11th and East Avenue here in Baxter Springs.
Ready 3.
Of course, we'll be here throughout the day. We'll have the latest on this situation coming up tonight at 5 and 6. Reporting live in Baxter Springs, Kansas, Dan Bewley, News on 6.
Take you.
Dan, thank you so much.
All right,
okay.
3 and 20
Dan
for the
is
double.
on the ground,
Sky News
but
6.
our pilot, Osage Sky News
double.
6, Will Kavanaugh, is above, giving us a bird's eye view. He's actually not in Quapaw. He's in Baxter Springs this afternoon. And gosh, those are some devastating pictures you're providing there, Will. And what can you tell
that says Quapaw too. Read his name.
Well, Havana, what we've seen
this
afternoon,
yeah, just leave it.
As we've seen starting early this morning, as recovery efforts are beginning here.
So he's in Baxter now?
Family and friends are already going through their homes, trying to salvage what they can from these homes that have been heavily damaged or if not completely destroyed.
Next.
We do see, electric crews out here securing lines or even replacing poles and doing what they can to start to restore power
that's definitely
or
Baxter.
provide safety to any lines that are down.
Okay, that should be fixed. The
Joplin
key.
Police here providing assistance to this community in their time of need. And emergency management crews, as we zoom in here on the gas station, are also here working as a public safety, making sure this gas station is safe with the fuel tanks in the back. They just got done digging up that hole with the backhoes and track hose, trying to get access to things in order to shut down certain utilities here that have been completely leveled at this time. So recovery efforts are well under the way here in Baxter Springs, and it'll be ongoing for several days. As Dan said, there's a lot of relief efforts, where to register and where you can drop off certain donations.
Will, as you fly above, I know that you have a great vantage and you've been there since yesterday. Can you tell, I know you're not a National Weather Service person, they of course are on their way out there, but can you tell kind of the path that this storm took?
Correct. We're going to move a little bit to the southwest to help you with that and give you a little bit more of a visual here. And it started in the southwest of town, and it moved 1.5 miles from the southwest to the northeast, right through the heart of town. And I'm going to have Mike stop right there. Mike, if you go back a little bit to the left, and we're going to zoom in right there on that road, which is, I believe, about 19th
Copy
Street,
that.
where you can see one house was moved right off the foundation, and you can see crews are out there now trying to take that house down so they can get access in and out for emergency crews to get to the rest of the neighborhood that's in that area. But it moved right through the heart of town, crossing Military Avenue to the northeast. As you look at that path, it's 1.5 miles long, but it's only about 200 meters wide. So it's not a wide tornado, but it was a very destructive tornado to every home that it touched here in Baxter Springs. Savannah?
Yes, it was. Wow. Thank you for that perspective. Will Kavanaugh there reporting for us. Now, we want to remind you, the governor of Arkansas, they originally reported 16 people were dead, but they said that they counted 2 victims twice. So there are 14 people dead in Arkansas. Well, News on 6 is giving you a chance to win a flat safe tornado shelter. All you have to do is watch News on 6 at 10 every night until May 21st. We're going to give you a cue to call. And when you hear that keyword, call the number you see on your screen for a chance to win. We wish you luck. Well, chances are storm trackers will be first on the scene after any tornado rips through a community. Now, the destruction is a familiar sight for Tulsa area husband and wife. Now, on the trail
I'll just leave
of
it
a
until we hit
monster
break because she's going to see we'll be right back.
3 years ago,
Hopefully
they
I won't have
roll
to have
into
you animated
Joplin.
out.
Now, what they see forces some really quick decisions that save lives. Tonight on News at 6 at 10, the
stand by your
break.
Going to break off of this
role that
shot
chasers
here.
play during severe weather. Our chief meteorologist Travis
Stand
Meyer
by your
introduces
break.
us to a new breed of storm chasers.
And
we'll be right back.
And music and fade us down. Ready, Breakmaster. Okay. 10 seconds. Stand by. See full sound. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll C and fade up. Sound. Stand by cam 8. And is on my cue.
Well, we continue to receive more photos from Quapaw on some of the damage that did occur there. From the Sean Corbett sent us these photos here showing just the houses that were partially demolished from the tornado, sending the roof off. These folks were trapped under their roof as it came down. You can see other portions of houses that were kind of stripped of the walls there. And also we have some damage here that once again indicates some structures pretty much almost entirely compromised, and the National Weather Service team is out there to survey the damage today to let us know what classification this tornado will receive. We are watching that system, though. It continues to spread to the east. New tornado watches going up for portions of Mississippi, Alabama, and even Tennessee. And this is quite an area of strong to severe storms. And as the afternoon heating gets going, we are going to deal with more severe weather, likely more tornadoes. But that's to our east. For Oklahoma, it's just a few showers that are working their way into our portion of the state. Nothing all that heavy, but we could still see a shower or a storm even in your backyard this afternoon. Here's the wide view. It does show very spotty showers, mainly on the west side of Oklahoma City, maybe not even reaching the ground at this point. I think by 2 to 3 this afternoon, some of those will begin to flare up here in eastern Oklahoma, showers and maybe a rumble of thunder here and there. But once again, about a 30% chance that you'll see it in your backyard. Otherwise, partly cloudy, breezy, even a little bit of blowing dust out there potentially. As we take a look outside, we've got partly to mostly clear skies and a temperature of 66 degrees. Winds are gusting up to 30 miles per hour, so the wind is actually kind of our big story of the day, as that will continue to warm us up with the sunshine, and a westerly wind helps to do that. But it is certainly cooler than it was yesterday, and also drier. Humidity levels much lower as a result. So 66 in Tulsa, 68 in Okmulgee, sitting right at 70 degrees in McAllister. And you factor in the winds, they are gusting upwards of 40 miles per hour in north central Oklahoma around Enid, up to 43 mile per hour gusts there reported around Ponca City, and on the 20 to 30 mile per hour gust range here in northeastern Oklahoma. So this will be a bit of a breezy afternoon, and also transporting in some showers from the west. Here's how that plays out on our future view model. You can see by once again around 4 o'clock, a few showers beginning to break out in central and western Oklahoma, even here in northeastern Oklahoma as well, widely scattered. And through about the 5 to 6 o'clock range, this may be the time of most likely seeing a shower or a storm. Around the I-40 corridor has been the area that's been picking up the most shower activity in our model, so that might be the place that gets a little wet this afternoon, and then into the evening hours that dissipates. We're left with a cool night ahead, though, temperatures dropping off into the lower 50s and even 40s across the area. Then some more showers coming in during the day. A reinforcing shot of cool air, another kind of cool front working its way in around that low pressure, and then that will bring about a bit of a showery condition from Tulsa north, and also keeping us very cool for our Tuesday with mostly cloudy skies. And as I mentioned, that upper level low is really what is keeping us into a quiet week, though it brought us severe weather. On the backside of it, it assures us that we're not going to have to deal with any severe weather for some time. So through Tuesday afternoon, It's just cool air. We're on the cool side of the system, and it's kind of blocking, the bit of a blocking pattern. So not much change in this. Dry, cool flow. And as we go on into the weekend, we're back to a bit of a warm-up as that low begins to push away from us and getting into a more seasonable type of pattern by the weekend. Until then, it will be not too bad. 75 this afternoon. Breezy, scattered showers, an isolated storm around that time. By evening, showers are beginning to end. Partly cloudy skies and cooling off into the mid-40s tomorrow morning. A chilly start to the day, then clouds will roll in, and it will just be kind of a cool, raw day, especially for late April. A little unusual. And notice these temperatures are far below normal. Our average high is about 75 to 76. We're running 10 to 15 degrees cooler than that by Thursday morning, down into the upper 30s, even here in Tulsa.
Come on, Greg.
Areas to the north might even see a light frost that morning, so
40
just
over.
be aware and pay attention to that. But that's about the only threat for the week, as we are dry and we begin to warm up a bit by the weekend. Back to 70s and even the 80s by next Sunday. Back to you, Havana.
Thank you. Music, stand by the gym. Start your moves on, enemy.
In the studio,
Somebody break master.
Roasted asparagus.
3,
spring treat.
2,
stay with us.
1. Fade us down. Ready, break. All right. 3, 2, 1, and C is rolling up on the sound. Semi-4 and dissolve and enemy.
I'm in the cooking corner with Sharon Stroud
Take.
this morning.
Ready,
She is the healthy eating specialist for Whole Food
Markets
in
a different time
Tulsa.
zone?
Good afternoon, I should say. Happy to be here with you. Okay, I'm
Thank you.
excited about this because asparagus is one of my absolute favorite
guest name.
vegetables.
This vegetable is a perfect spring treat. We
semi-3, it's all 3.
grow
All right,
asparagus
4 you can
here that is
get,
so
or,
delicious.
Yeah, 4 you already up there.
And this purple asparagus that we're using today is actually from one of our
Semi-4
local
and
vendors
it's all
here
4?
at Fisher Farms in
4's up.
Oklahoma.
Now, does it taste different from the traditional asparagus that most of us have at home?
No, it tastes just the same, but they're, you know, like many other foods, there are a lot of different varieties and some different colors.
It's totally so pretty.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, it is.
And it's so fresh that when we snap the bottoms off to get the rough edges off, it just snapped and it's nice and crisp.
That's awesome. And then it still has the green inside, so that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The green
so,
insides.
okay, what is this recipe?
This is a roasted
Ready to take.
Asparagus.
She's
Okay.
not doing
Super
anything yet.
simple.
Ready,
You
3?
clean it. You take the
Do you forget to start the
bottoms off of it.
Okay.
And what we're going
All
to
right,
do
here
is
we go.
we're just
Stand
going
by
to
4.
put
Now
a
we get
tablespoon
some.
of balsamic vinegar on here.
Yummy. That makes it nice and sweet.
It does. Balsamic vinegar
And
just
4, you're up.
makes the vegetables taste
Just
so
follow
good.
there.
So you just
Semi-2.
drizzle
Ooh,
this
nice
on.
shot, 2.
Okay, right
and
here.
dissolve 2. Very nice.
And do
very
you
nice.
care what kind? Just
4,
whatever your
you're
favorite
back up on
is?
4. 2,
Just
flip.
whatever type.
Ready,
There are
3,
all
take.
different types of balsamic vinegars that would be good on this. We have some fruit ones like fig and dark cherry balsamic.
I have a chocolate one that is to die for.
Oh, I imagine that's super good. And so what we would do is put this in the oven at 450 degrees
okay.
for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then check it every couple of minutes and either shake the pan or take some tongs and move it around, roll it around a little bit so it kind of cooks evenly on all sides. And then what we would do is make up some fresh herbs here that would go on top. And we started out with some thyme. And then we're going to chop up just a little bit of parsley to go in here because you want about 2 tablespoons of mixed herbs.
Okay.
And this is such a handy tool.
Yeah, your cooking scissors, I was just about to say, are quite amazing. They're giving you some really fine cuts there. I like that.
This is really great because it has 5 blades. And you can just mince up those herbs in no time. In fact, one of our neighbors at our 91st and Yale store is going to have these in stock this week at the end of the week.
Stand by 2.
So we would mix this up.
Maybe.
And so that's a little fresh mint I can try.
Fresh mint.
That's a
fresh
surprise.
thyme, fresh parsley, to about 2 tablespoons.
Okay.
And after you pull this out of the oven, you would take your herbs and sprinkle all over it and then top it with just a little bit of fresh pepper and you have a nice spring light recipe to go with your lunch or dinner that is delicious hot or cold.
I think they're done
and asparagus is really a great thing for us to
get
get in the springtime because it's rich in vitamin A and it also supports the kidneys.
Okay, that's really awesome. So after we cook all this down, does the balsamic vinaigrette do that sticky, syrupy thing that I like?
No, it doesn't reduce enough because it's not in the oven long enough. But it really enhances the flavor of the asparagus. And you know, we use vinegar a lot of times on vegetables to give it a tanginess that really excites the taste buds, so it makes them taste really good.
Okay, this is a way to get your kiddos to eat.
Stand by the
Absolutely, absolutely. And this will dazzle family and friends.
Yes.
It is so simple and doesn't take any time at all to make, and it's absolutely delicious.
And if I just want to show off and I want this purple asparagus, do I get it at Whole Foods?
You do get it at Whole Foods.
Okay.
It's actually grown right here in Oklahoma.
That's better because it's nice and fresh. So I guess I'd mix the two and have purple and green because I eat with your eyes first.
That's right. It would make a very pretty contrast.
Thank you so much. Okay, yummy. If you would like a copy of today's recipe, just visit the recipe section of our website at newson6.com.
And take
well, coming up, we'll introduce
music.
you to
Stand
a
by,
California
Skycam.
teen who was just a little too sick to go to his high school prom, but his friends took care of that.
Oh,
We'll show you how next. And Mike will give us one last glimpse of this weather. When will another chance of rain? He will tell us next.
3, 2, 1. Pay to road break. 10 seconds. Stand by for music. Stand by Skycam. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And fade up and make music. Stand by 2. And it's on my cue.
My most favorite story of the day, a football player fighting cancer, misses prom, but his friends all came together to change that. It's Cody Smith. He was too sick to make it to a senior prom, so prom came to him. His principal made a special announcement when he showed up, naming Cody Prom King. A party bus with his friends showed up to make the night that much better.
And it's on.
Awesome. Oh, we needed some good news after the Sunday that we've had. Our hearts are with the folks in Arkansas, and but here things are improving.
10,
good news for our
9,
forecast.
music,
It will
8, start to move, Jim, 7,
just a few showers this afternoon.
6,
Okay,
5,
we'll keep you posted. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here at 5 and 6.
Somebody break. And 3, 2, 1. Fade to road break. Yikes.